Hello, fellow Sudokans, and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku puzzle for Tuesday, the 8th of March 2022. This is the medium level Guardian Sudoku puzzle. Let me get my glasses out, have a look at it. You can prove that I've not looked at the grid yet because I haven't even put my glasses on yet. Although the numbers are pretty big, I can see them without, I suppose. What's happening, what's not happening in the news. What I mean is, so you probably know that after years of trying to build democracy, the military is now trouncing and shooting at civilians, and they are running and trying to escape and find places of safety. And the situation is dreadful, and human beings are terrified and losing everything that they have, and maybe they are joining the resistance to fight back. But I'm not talking about Ukraine. I'm talking about Myanmar, because this is not really reported, is it? I mean, the reporting on Ukraine is extensive, right? And I don't mean that that's a bad thing or shouldn't happen. But the huge difference in where these conflicts happen make a huge difference in the reporting, because obviously our entire Western media is obsessed with Ukraine and the Russian invasion, and rightly so. But how about people in other conflicts in other parts of the world who are not European, not white? They don't really get the same degree of coverage, and they don't get the same humanity. I mean, there are people in Myanmar who can't find refuge. They won't be accepted into people's homes in Europe to say, okay, come and, come and claim asylum here or something like that. But they're just the same, right? Human beings are being shot at and have to run in fear for their lives and gather their meager possessions with them and run for the hills. It's really depressing. I wish people weren't so quick to start violent procedures, whatever they comprise. As a peace-loving person, as most of the world is peace-loving. We hate the aggressors, we really do. Okay, right, enough of my Tuesday morning chat. I didn't actually put my glasses on to say that. I kept them off for some reason. I thought maybe they would get steamed up. So I'd better look at the grid right now and see what I can see. Now, if you've never played Sudoku before, a very brief introduction, because Tuesday is a fairly straightforward game usually. Okay, look, here is a grid of 9 squares. Here is a column of 9 squares, and here is a row of 9 squares. Now, to complete the jigsaw puzzle of 9s, what we do is fill in the empty squares with the missing numbers. Now, we have in this block 6 numbers already, and we have 3 empty squares. And so we need to find the missing numbers in these squares. Now, let's ask ourselves, excuse me, do we have a 7 in this block yet? And our answer will be a resounding no, we do not. So how do we go about finding the 7 that's missing from this square? Well, we look across these rows and say there's a 7 here in this row here, and there's a 7 in this row here. And that means that this 7 cannot reappear in this row, and this 7 cannot reappear in this row. Okay, because the number can appear only once, because there are only 9 squares in the rows, columns, and blocks. So, can this square be 7? No. Can this square be 7? No. What about this square? Well, there's nothing stopping it. So since there's nothing stopping it, and that's the last place where there's nothing stopping it, we know that it is, in fact, a 7. And we can write the number in immediately, and that's how we play the game. Got it? Got the idea? Okay, great, glad to hear it. Let's see, in this block down here, we don't yet have a 6, but we have this 6 blocking all the way down this column, this 6 blocking down this column, and this 6 blocking across this row, meaning that 6 has to fit just neatly there. and we go around looking at the board looking for opportunities, similar opportunities that we can find. Okay. Right then, let's see. Let's have a let the dog see the rabbit, as the weird idiom goes. What do I need? Okay, this 1 blocks across here, 1 blocks across here, and so we know that 1 will be in that square there. The missing numbers in this row are 2 and 5. We've got 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. We don't yet have 2 or 5. Now, can we tell which is which? The answer is yes, we can. And how do we go about that? Well, this 5 is in this block. And remember, a number can appear once only within a block. So this square here, or this square here, can't be 5 because we already got 5. So if this is not 5, well, there's only one other option. So we know that the 5 appears in that square there, and the 2 is the last number we need to complete that row. And now, of course, we've only got 1 empty square in this block, so we can find out what it is, can't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It must be 8 because we've got a 9 here. So this is the basic technique of Sudoku if you are brand new to the game. Now, this 5 blocks all the way across this row here, meaning that there's one other empty square in that block, which goes there. And now there's only one other missing number here. It's a 2. We've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we know that that's a 2. I'm going to change these pens tomorrow. I've got 2 pens here. They're both on their last legs. Not that pens have legs, of course. They would keep running away, wouldn't they? So I shall change to some others soon. Now the art of the game is knowing where to look. 1 blocks across here, 1 blocks up here, and 1 blocks up here. I think that's the frustrating thing for beginners, is trying to decide, where do I look next? And the more you play, the more you get a feel for where you should be looking. But sometimes it's difficult, even, or maybe especially at harder levels and more difficult levels, it gets really difficult to decide where you should be looking next. So where should we be looking? Well, okay, let's examine these 3 squares here and see what the missing numbers are. Now we've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the missing numbers are 2, 8, and 9. Now, can we tell anything about the 2 8s and 9s? Well, we've got an intersecting 8 here, so we know this can't be 8. So 8 could appear here. We've got a 9 intersecting this square, so the 9s will appear in one of these 2 squares, and the 2 we don't know about, so we can't do anything. Even though we know the 3 numbers that are missing, we don't know what to do about it. How about over here? Anything? The missing numbers are 3, 4, and 6. Those are the missing numbers that we need for these 3 squares here. Well, this time we can do something about it, because we have a 6 blocking this square and we have a 4 blocking the same square. So if it's not 6 and it's not 4, it has to be our other missing number, which is 3. And now, of course, the 6 blocks this square, so we know that the 6 goes there, and then the 4, which is the last number, can go just there. For newcomers to the channel, I should tell you that I don't play these games ahead of time. I have no idea of the actual solution yet. You're watching me play for the first time. You know, I don't practice the games first or work out the answers or anything like that. So sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it's very quick. It's the luck of the draw sometimes, or the quickness of, or how alert I am at this time in the morning. It's quite early morning here in Thailand. And I'm not seeing very much. So Actually, I'm really not seeing very much. I should have seen stuff by now. Maybe I need to wriggle around on the chair a little bit. Okay, I've seen it now. 8 blocks down here, 8 blocks down here, and 8 blocks across there. So that's an 8 we can place in that square there. And then 8 blocks across this row here, and across this row here, and down here. So that puts an 8 into this square here. And then we'll continue with that 8 blocking up this column, and across this row. So now 8 is there. And that's as far as we can go. Now we're limited to these squares and these squares for 8 because we have blocking. Oh, I tell a lie. Actually, 3 possibilities for 8 up. Oh, no. 2 possibilities. Yes, there or there. That's what I meant to say. So what I said first time was correct. So we can't do any more on the 8s, but that's okay. We have filled in a couple more digits. So let's see what else we can get. One good thing to do is when we see like 3 empty squares like this, we should probably investigate and find out what's missing. So what do we have? We have 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. So the missing numbers are 2, 6, and 7. Now something similar to what I showed you before has occurred here. 2, 6, and 7 we need to fit into these 3 squares. See anything? Okay, great. Yes, the 6 and the 7 both block this square. So if it's not 6, not 7, it's got to be it's got to be 2, sorry. Right, and can we get the 6 or the 7 in these 2 squares? No, we can't. We don't have any information to allow us to do that, but that's okay. Right, as I said to you, that knowing where to look is the main thing here, and I am not looking in the right place, obviously. Where should I be looking now? Okay, let's investigate this column here and see what's missing. Missing numbers are 1, 2, and 5. Now, does that give us anything? Well, this 5 blocks this square, so we know that the 5 is down here. This 1 blocks this square, so we know that the 1 is there, but the 2 can appear in any of them. Oh, sorry, the 2 blocks here as well. There we go. No, I put that 2 in myself. So 1, 2, and 5 are the missing numbers in these 3 squares. This square can't be 2 now, can't be 5 from the beginning, and so it has to be a 1. Now this, we kind of okay, let's see. This 2 and 5 block up here, so we know that 2 and 5 are in these 2 squares here. So then we can kind of work out the others, what's missing from these 3 squares, right? Because we know that this is 2 and 5. So 1, 2, now 3 blocks across here, so 3 will be in these 2 squares here. 4 can come in any of these squares here. 5 is here, 6, 7. 8 will be in, 9 will be in any of these 3 squares here. Okay, so that was 3, 4, and 9 up here. Down here we need to complete this, we'll need 1 and 7 in these two squares here. Right, now we've got a 1 blocking here, so we know that that can't be a 1. 1 must be here, and 7 will be there. Or you could have just said 1 blocks down here across here, and then 7 blocks down here across here. So I just wanted to show you that there are different ways to come up with the same information. Okay, here we know these two numbers, so you can work out these, or you can work out these two numbers and work out these. It will be exactly the same. So 9 blocks across here, 9 blocks down here, so this is a 9. And this was 2 and 5, if you remember from before. So this will have to be a 3 now. Or you could say 3 blocks down here and 3 will appear there. As I said, same information, the same different information but the same result. 3 blocks down here, and blocks across there. So a 3 will appear in that square there. It's important to keep looking around the board as well. Don't get stuck in one place if you're new to the game, because that will just delay you. 1 blocks across here, 1 blocks across here, and 1 blocks down here. So we know that that has to be a 1. Okay, now here's something I'd like to show you, which is kind of interesting, I think. This column here doesn't yet have a 7. This 7 blocks this square. This 7, remember, in the same block means that this can't be 7. This 7 blocks this square, so up there we know that that has to be a 7. We have 4 blocking across here and 4 blocking down here, so we know that that has to be a 4. We still need a 2 for this column, and this 2 stops that square from being a 2, so the 2 fits there, and a 9 will finish off this column. Let's change that pen again. Okay. Now 9 is one of our missing numbers here. This is 8 and 9 are missing. 9 blocks here now, so 9 goes there, and 8 will fit into that square there. And now we have 8 blocking across here and 8 blocking up there, so we know that 8 is in that square. This 4 stops this from becoming a 4. We don't yet have a 4 in this block, so 4 goes here, and the last number that we need is a 2 to finish that. Now we can see this 2 blocking across here and 2 blocking up there, so this will be a 2. And now there's just one empty square in this column. Excuse me, it's a 5, so we'll put it in. Okay. There's one empty square down here now. That's why I said you have to keep looking around. Sometimes you miss these things. It's a 2. We don't have a 2 in this column. Or you could just say 2 blocking down there. As I say, same, different information but the same result. Right, what's left to be done? Okay, this row does not have a 2 yet. This 2 stops this square from becoming a 2, so we know the 2 is here. This was a 5 to finish, if you remember, we did mention that before. Okay, and now we need a 5 on the end here because we don't have it in this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will fit there. 6, 7, 8, 9 if you want to double check your work. And this 5 will block up here, 5 blocking up here, and 5 blocking across there. Puts a 5 into that square there. See how neatly it all kind of works itself out. You put in a number, you have reduced options in the rows, columns or blocks, and you're able to come up with the answer. We don't have a 2 in this column yet. We have 2 blocking down here, this column, sorry, 2 blocking down here, 2 blocking down here, and 2 blocking across there. So we know that the 2 must fit there. 4 stops this square from being a 4. We need it for this column, so 4 must be at the top. And to finish off down here, this has got to be a 7. Okay, now 4 blocks across here, 4 blocks across here, so we know that that's a 4 now. The missing number in this row is a 3. Okay, not much more to go now, just a few squares to finish off. 3 blocks this square here, and so 3 goes there. The missing number here now is a 9. We've got everything else, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now 9 blocks along here, so we know that that's a 9, or you could count through and find it's the missing number from that row there. What's left to get? Missing numbers here are 6 and 7, so we see an intersecting 7 there, so 7 is here, 6 is there. Down here the missing numbers are 4, well that's blocking there, so 4 is here, and the other missing number is 6, or 6 from this column, whichever way you look at it. Now across here we're just 1 empty square across these rows. The missing number here is a 5 blocking there if you prefer, and then to finish our medium level game, a 7 goes there, so that's our Sudoku for the Guardian for Tuesday the 8th of March. Okay, and I'll be back with more Guardian tomorrow, but on this channel I'll be back later today with some more difficult level puzzles from the New York Times and the LA Times if you are willing to challenge yourself to a greater degree. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Bye bye. Stay peaceful, everybody.